Today, I want to show you how to use the host file in Ansible Playbook. I will show you two options how you can call the Ansible host file to reference your host for your network automation. Let's quickly review my lab. I have my Linux machine with the Ansible installed on it, and here I have a router 1 which is accessible from my Linux machine, and I will try to run very simple Ansible playbook, and I will try to create a host file that will call up on this router. This router is configured with the IP addresses. I will be using 192.168.0.136, so I can even use 10.10.10.1 and I should be fine to access this router. If I go back to my Linux machine, here is my Ansible playbook. My Ansible playbook is very simple. What it should do is to call the router and ask him what version of iOS it's running. So in my folder, I am in my personal folder location. As you can see, if I type pwd, it says I'm in my user folder, documents, Ansible automation, Ansible, and my playbook folder is Ansible host file. If I list the content of that folder, you can see that the only thing I have there is my playbook. My playbook is here, you can see it on the screen. It's got its name. It calls the host routers, which should be my router. It doesn't got a fax, and here is the playbook itself. It just has its name, and then it runs the iOS command under the Ansible playbooks, show version, including version, and there's a second task that it will print out the output onto your screen. Now, if I try to run the playbook on its own, nothing here, the command is ansible-playbook, and now the name of the playbook. So it should be show version. If I hit the enter, now it says unable to run it, no host matches. The reason is the Ansible playbook is looking for the host file, and it's looking for the host file in its default location. The default location for the host file should be etc Ansible host. That's not the ideal location, because if you will start running automation, you will have many folders with a different kind of the automation, or you will have one folder and with lots of playbooks, and you have to have one host file which will reference your lab, your dev environment, or your production environment. So you don't want to store it in a default location. You either store it in a specific location for all the host files, or as I do it, I store it in the same folder as my playbooks are. How you do it, it's up to you. Today, I just want to show you how to call the host file. Now, so we have a playbook, and now we need the host file. So let's create the host file first. So I'm in my folder here, Ansible host file, as we can see, Ansible host file. The only thing I have there is my playbook, which is open on my screen. Now I will come here and I will add a file, and it will be hosts. It's the name. I hit the enter. The file's open here, and I need to fill it up. I will be cheating here a little bit, and I will copy the host file from a different location. Close this and try if I copy it rightly. No. So copy, paste, close that. Great stuff. So I have my host file. Close the previous host file. So I'm still in my folder, Ansible host file. Where's my playbook? And I'll create the file call host. I create the list here with the routers, where is my R1 and Ansible host is 10.10.10.1, which should be IP address of my router of the loopback 0. And then I have a router's variables. The first one is that it's a iOS device. The second one is the username I would like to use to accessing the device. Then I have the password. I need to change this for actual password. And I believe it's a highly secure password for my lab router, Cisco 123. And the last thing is what kind of the connectivity the Ansible should use is a network-CLI. If you want to know how to protect the passwords in your Ansible playbooks and host files, how to encrypt it, somewhere here should be a link to my previous video where I explain how to use Ansible bot, but that's a different topic. So now back to the host file. So I have my host file, all done, created. I need to save the config. And now I have my playbook, which calls up to the routers. You can see routers, and that should match here the list with my Ansible host. If you would have a multiple routers, you would just carry on typing R2 Ansible host 10.10.10.2, R3 10.10.10.3, and so on. For our example, one host is enough. So we have the host file, we have the variable for the device, we have the playbook, so we should be all set and run. I just make sure my config is saved. Yeah, so if I go, I get rid of this warning message here. If I go back to my folder and I run the playbook again, so running the same playbook, in my opinion it should fail. The reason is the playbook is still looking for the host file in its default location. It doesn't look into the same folder. So what we need to do is to tell the playbook where to look for the host file. And the command for that is ansible-playbook, the same start as before. Just type -i and now the location of the host file. And I will just type same folder as I'm here, host, and now the version, the name of the playbook. So let's see. Here we go. The playbook has run. So the playbook run, it displayed me the version of the router, which is fine. And we can see the task run on R1, and the play was a Cisco show version example. So this is the name. So all work as expected. And the command we use for it is ansible-playbook-i, and then the location of the host file. Now, for those who are not familiar with the Linux and how you specify in the folder part, what I've done here is dot and / it's in the same folder structure. I could also do if I type dvd for my full folder location, I copy that now, and I'll do ansible-playbook -i. Now I will do the full path. I need to paste that. I'll try if I can. Okay. File -host. So now I don't use the / and host, but I'm using the full path. And now the name of the playbook, it should do the same. It works exactly the same. You can use / host or the full path, just for those who are not familiar with the Linux command line. So great stuff. So this is how you access the host file, your dedicated host file per the playbook. So, but if you have multiple playbooks, so for example, somewhere here, I have the structure, which has lots of playbooks. And when you're running the playbooks, playing with them, changing the commands in the Ansible playbook because it doesn't work and you're constantly testing it, the last thing you want to do is constantly type where is the host file located. So the other way to do it is to create what is called a config file. So if I go back to my folder, so at the moment, if I do ls, so I'll list the content of the folder, I see there is a host file and my playbook. What I will do, I will go to my folder and create another for file called ansible.cfg. Ansible.cfg. Great stuff. Now, and ansible.cfg is Ansible config file. And what I can do there is I can specify where my host file is located. So I'll do square bracket defaults, and now I need to call the inventory, and the inventory is where is the host file located, equal, and I believe I still have it in my copy and paste memory. Yep. Host. Now I'm telling into the Ansible config file where is the location of my host file, and the playbook itself, it does always look for the config file, and then you don't need to specify -i and the location of the host file. So let's try that if that works. Click a save. So at the moment I have my folder structure where I have 3 files: the actual playbook, I have the host files, and I have a config file. If I go to my command line, I should be able to do just ansible-playbook, and now the name of the playbook without specifying the host file location. Let's give it a try. You can see it runs again. So this is the way how you can configure the Ansible config file to tell the playbook where is the host files are located. Now, in my folder, I only have one playbook and a dedicated host file for it. But if you're running the lab, you will have, I guess, one host file, but many playbooks. So then it's beneficial to configure the config file, so you can always run this quick command, just Ansible playbooks and name of the playbooks, to run the playbooks you want and testing the configuration or automation you would like to have. So thanks for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe, and see you next time.